Peace, family.
Peace. We standing by for the executive office to proceed over this case. Please stand by and be patient. Peace, Minister Baca. I see you, man.
Are we waiting on Sister Yasmine?
I think the sister's already in. We're just waiting on Karen.
Yeah, I just text Karen to see if she's gonna come in. I'm gonna give her about 2 minutes, and then if she don't respond, we're gonna proceed.
Okay.
All right. Can everybody hear me? Is everything working well? This is my first time working this, so I'm just trying to work around using it.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I can hear you, Robert.
Okay, great. All right. This action comes as a result of several grievances that were brought to Royal Society's attention, then my attention, in respect to Brother Kenway Sheik. And as the accusations developed, Brother Rashad was appointed to basically facilitate the case for Sister Love Sheik. And then I had a chance to correspond with her because I had another issue that was hanging around with Sister Yasmine. And then I had a previous issue that was unresolved that I was continuously getting communication from, and then the communication died because we didn't arbitrate it with Karen. So I decided, let's put these all together and let me investigate in detail what is happening so I can see, what's going on. I had words from Ken that he shared, in respect to Yasmine, not in respect to Love She or any communication, but communication was being had between people. So I thought that combining this together would do a number of things. First, it would not exhaust the Jural Society, because I know, like right now, we're in the middle of the day, everybody got stuff to do, fight for themselves, their families, whatever. So I didn't want 3 people filing grievances and them not being familiar with how to handle the case, etc. So it was better to kind of group them together and figure out how we could come to a resolution to this situation. And the resolution was, let's combine the cases, let's look at what has been alleged from multiple sides, let's identify what the problems and other potential problems are, and then let's see if we can put it in a document. And then my personal suggestion, nobody suggested this but me, was to create a plea agreement where there was an opportunity to still have us dialogue, still have us look at the evidence, but have that there as a means of meeting everybody's expectation to potential justice in the situation. Because, it's a lot in it. It is standard jural procedures, etc., but there's people's emotions involved, people's perceptions involved. All of that is involved. And when you have that, that's the formula for either resolving a situation as a family or a powder keg for explosions to continue to go off even after we're done. Which, in what we are doing, how we are doing it, this is not supposed to be court like the Europeans. We're not in here for commerce. Nobody's in here. We're not in here for that. We're in here to make everybody whole about a situation that went wrong, regardless of anybody's perception. We have to look at the evidence. We have to let people speak their truth, and then we have to come to the best conclusion. In my mind, after we hear the evidence, even if it's not the terms of the plea agreement that I suggested, there should be a plea agreement, because if there's not, then this could continue as a hearing after hearing to gather more evidence with potentially more people that have brought things to my attention that I did not include, but that can be managed well, with a good plan. And so what I want to do is first not be out of my place and let the Jural Society say anything that they need to say before, or Brother Kenway, before we start going into talking to the witnesses, cross-examination, all of that. So I'm going to stand down and then, let y'all say anything y'all need to say or whatever, and then give me the cue when it's time to go.
Brother Ken, you want to say anything?
I was going to let the Jural Society state, kind of like Chief Ali just mentioned, anything that the Jural Society had, thoughts on what was sent in. Yes, there's some additional complaints, parties from the plea that I've seen in. And some of there's information in regards of those complaints, what occurred that wasn't, brought to light. You know what I mean? That there's not information on. So I want to shed light on information in regards of that, all the parties that are there. But I wanted to, I guess I wanted the Jural Society to state what they want to state, but there's some information there that's not, put in there, and there might be confusion. Some information in the plea that it's not rectified fully in regards to stuff that's occurred and stuff that's been handled. It's already been handled, but according to the plea deal, it's not updated on there. And Yeah, so I've got information in regards to, the different parties involved. But I guess I'll say this. Is everybody here, the ruling parties here is the Juror Society, is that correct? Is the ones ruling on this, the Juror Society members that are here?
Yes, I believe minus. I'm not sure what Minister Ansar is doing. I know he's absent today. So I believe it would be who's here. Brother Kojo, did you say you weren't judging for this one, or?
I can't judge on it since my name was mentioned. So.
Yeah. So I guess minus Brother Kojo as well as Brother Ansar.
Okay.
To answer your question, there's a court proceeding. It has a court case. It's a prosecution from the executive office. All parties involved have access and opportunity to participate in this proceeding. All National Jurist Society members are privileged to attend this proceeding, this case, with the plaintiff and the defendant. And the three parties who are the plaintiffs and the one defendant, which is Kenway. So it's about not who's actually here, who has access to the case and has rights to the case. Only the Jurist Society members, the plaintiffs, which are three in total at this time, and the one defendant. That's to answer your question at this time, Minister Kenway.
Well, the question being the ruling party. So, for instance, I see Brother El Bay here, Rashad, in regards to Juror Society, you, Arkan, Giselle, and
they're all certified jurists. They're qualified and eligible to proceed in this case. They're all members that have been appointed to the Jurist Society. I don't understand your question then.
Okay. Well, let me get straight to one of the points here then. So,
One second. Should this be reported?
Definitely. By the Jurist Society and the executive office.
Yeah, it's being recorded.
That's ended.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm recording.
okay.
Thank you, Minister Cujo.
Yeah, appreciate it, brother. So, not to dive right in, but to my question here, this is where it's correlated here. On the ARNA Complaints Code 26, when nationals come into ARNA, they expect prompt, reliable nationality services. Both nationality clients were here waited for extensive periods, months.
Can I interject 1 second? I don't want to.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Excuse me. I think the proceeding might be about to go backwards. And what I mean by that is I turn it back over to y'all just for preliminary conversation.
Right.
I think that the people who actually made the claims need to speak and then can cross-examine them, and then he can state his case, we can cross-examine him, and then we can come to a summary on this first one and choose another day to continue or complete the proceeding. Just so it's an order, because they brought the case against you and they haven't even said anything, so they need to be able to speak in summary, and I can kind of use the complaint to verify what they say, and then you have the opportunity to cross-examine them, ask them questions, etc. So usually how this goes, and y'all can tell me if this is fitting. The plaintiffs state their case, one. The defendant states their case, and then there's cross-examination between both, so that we can ask questions, etc. So I don't know if the judge side want to put a time limit on anything or whatever, but I would recommend a time limit, meaning every witness maybe have 5 minutes to make their preliminary statement, which is also supported by affidavits. We just got one Yasmine's affidavit I have, and I can share it, with everybody. I guess I can do that live now too while we're talking. And then Ken come, make his statements, and then we go into cross-examination. And y'all facilitate us to guide us into, So it don't get wild or crazy. Everybody talking.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh,
Okay, I agree. That's a fair. I agree. Anybody from the Jury Society agree?
Yes, I agree. I'll time it. Do 5 minutes.
Okay, fine. I put a suggestion to the Jury Society. The plaintiff, I recommend 5 minutes for each cause of action to speak on each aspect of her grievance or complaint or claim. Do y'all agree?
Yeah,
I agree. Yeah.
Well, I wanted to. I didn't want to conclude into my points, but it was really in regards of the ruling party.
Okay, that's fine. You'll have your opportunity to rebuttal. It would be fair for the plaintiff to speak.
Yeah. It's not a rebuttal. I'm stating that in regards to one of the complaints, there is.
Okay, you have your opportunity to do so.
Hold on, we'll think about it.
We're trying to establish order.
Absolutely, and I agree with that. But in regards of you specifically, I think it's an issue with you being on even the ruling party here because
I'm not ruling. I'm not the prosecutor.
Or are you judging in any way? Or do you have a way?
Only in my capacity as a jurist. That's it, based on the facts.
Well,
and I already stated in the Jury Society chat that I'm remaining neutral. I haven't made the judgment. The prosecution came and the plea deal came from the executive branch. What you have personally with me has nothing to do with this case.
Well, in regards of Minister Kojo's status is unbiased and he can't rule on this, you should be the same because there's biasness here with you being a part of this.
No, sir.
That was the whole point of what I was stating originally.
Oh, I'm not ruling, sir.
Okay.
And I have a right. I have a right. Just because I make a statement or my opinion doesn't mean it's going to negate the case. The case is going to be based on facts, and I'm not going to make the final decision in the judgment. That's come from the executive office, who is Chief Ali at this time. He didn't appoint no other jurors. And I understand why Cujo was staying because of conflict of interest. I have no conflict of interest, and I stated that.
And according to the complaint,
we're not here. We're going to let the plaintiff speak. They have 5 minutes for each cause of action. Don't make this personal. Don't make this about me. It's not about me.
Brother, you're charged in one of the complaints as well. You're included in this.
Okay.
So that's what
I'm not aware of that.
I know. This was a lot of this
This is
information.
not my case.
Hold on. Okay. Hold on. Okay, the two of you. Hold on. The two of you. Calm down. Hold on. Order. Listen. We're just laying out rules and procedures right now. So let's get through this, and then we'll get to the points that Ken, you have, or maybe Arkan, whatever the case is. But let's just lay out the rules, and then let's go forward from there. Okay? Let's calm down.
Okay.
All right.
Great. So I'm gonna get started. One, I don't want to make Ken feel like the point he's raising is not valid or invalid or whatever. But before it's clear to everybody on here, and you can agree or disagree, Ken, I think you're raising an issue about Brother Arkan being able to be a jurist on the case because you're alleging that he is a part of the complaint. Is that correct?
Or the counter, I guess technically from my side, not from the.
So now, I just want to make it clear. We never charged Arkan with anything in our prosecution. If you have testimony about something in respect to Arkan, in respect to these three people specifically, in regards to what actions are specifically laid out, it's almost, how can I put it? It doesn't have a place yet unless the Jury Society determines at a later point that it does have a place. So we still have to go and deal with what's on the actual prosecution.
Yes, sir.
Just, because Arkan is not on the prosecution.
Yes, sir.
He's not on it. None of these people in respect to these matters brought any issues to me on these particular matters about Arkan. If Arkan has something that he got to arbitrate with other people about, that's a whole separate issue. But if you raise the issue later, you have the right to raise it. But I did not put Arcan on any documents or anything in regards to this case, and it's there for everybody to read and review. And if I'm making error right now, please somebody correct me. Because I didn't put him in any of those claims.
Yes, sir. That's accurate. I just when I received the plea, and it had the list of breaches and like the I think it's mainly from Arna's side with the particulars like the code 26 or I guess the breaches of code 26, code 31. I guess I don't know if that was kind of like something that could also be looked at as an additional party with Love She, Yasmine, She Ali, and Karen to address that. Then had me because I just got a hold of that, a wind of that like just a few hours ago. So
a hold of what? Be specific. A hold of what?
The plea deal with the particulars of the breaches, because all I had was the complaint from Love She and her list that I ran through and kind of read through and saw the details of and things of that nature. So I kind of had an idea of how to like prep with that. But when I saw the details of breaches from the plea deal, I looked through it, analyzed it, and saw okay, there's some correlation with some other stuff that occurred that also would probably have to be addressed with the breach. Like so, the detail of breaches in regards of code 31, code 26. Each client experience gets to the point after the month share code 12, I believe, if I'm not reading too fast.
Are you asking for additional time even after this hearing so that you can address other matters? Because you did receive this recently, like you just got it. So are you saying you are unprepared on those particular things and you would need more time to add in to your defense?
No, sir. I was just stating with the additional breaches and with those, that's what had me ask the question that I asked in regards of Archon and like who's going to be the ruling party and things of that nature. But I may have been getting ahead of myself, kind of like you stated. So right. Yeah, I'm down for proceeding the exact same way that was stated. So I'm for it.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to jump in right into my presentation so y'all can get the summary, and then I'm going to go through with each witness according to the time. I'm going to keep my time under 5 minutes, too, so that everything stays, ordered and arranged. And then I'm going to sequester information and testimony from Sister Kimberly, as she's led here, Love She, Sister Yasmine, and Sister Karen. All right, so let me get started. And forgive me because I haven't used this, but, I'm going to do the share and put this drill.
Peace, fam. Can I make a point about the time?
Yes, sir.
I'm saying about 5 minutes for each cause of action. I was just saying, let's do 5 minutes total for whatever they're going to present for each plaintiff.
Yep, absolutely. I agree.
If my camera goes off, I'm just running to go grab my charger real quick because Google Hangouts bleeds my battery real quick. So I'm still on. I still hear everything if I'm not on the screen.
Okay. Yeah. Do you have a charger issue?
No, just low on charge. I'm just grabbing the charger for it because it's about to die. So I'm good. Got the extension cord here too.
Okay. All right. So hopefully it goes through. Everybody can see it. Can everybody see what I'm showing?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right, great. All right. So this is the prosecution as its current state that I have it. It is Arna versus Kenway, and the affiants in this are Love She, Yasmine, She Ali, and Karen Baker. Summary of the case. This case comes as a result of nationals listed above making complaints about the service of jurist Kenway She and the law firm New Ways Legal. Their claims are that his service was not in accord with Arna laws, protocols, the contract being the contract with jurists, and not efficient service. This raised concerns. The services were completed by Arna Aboriginal Law Firm for the 2 nationals listed above who had nationality type of issues. The third, I have not completed anything for Sister Karen. I just have the data and the information. This complaint looks to resolve the issues, highlight any breach of protocols, resolve the matter between the parties, and allow for any punishments required for breach of the service as a jurist. So with Love She, and then she can correct me if anything I say wrong. As a witness, you can correct me. It dealt with failure to provide an ID and failure to provide a tax exemption document for an LLC. With Yasmine Ali, failure to complete IDs, failure to provide documents. With Karen Baber, it was a debt relief issue, trademarks, and business registration, where the claim is that the debt relief issue was not handled properly, the trademarks weren't handled properly, but the business registration was done. That is the typo at registration. Headquarters, inspection, and grievances. So after I saw this, I said, well, let me go look and see, because I haven't done a client file check on Ken, but let me go see. So what I did see personally, which I can show live, is failure to register nationals properly to headquarters database, which means that we aren't getting the data of the people. So when grievances come up, we don't even have the data. All right, which is required for jurors to do. Jurors are supposed to register nationals at their headquarters, even if you have them on your own website, getting registered, collecting data. If we're not getting the data, that is a problem. Conflicting legal information presented to the public on the website. I'll go through that after my witnesses come back, and I come back with the closing remarks. False representation as a lawyer instead of an Aboriginal jurist. That was a small point. I'm not sure why that was being done, but I can interrogate to figure that out. Displaying nationals to the public websites without notice. Now, this was me being posted on the website. The only reason I had a problem with it is because if you are out here causing problems with nationals or non-nationals, and they see my face on the website, it's like a cosign. You're already a jurist, yeah, but if they see my picture, common people just put things together like, oh, and I don't need that first because there's no permission asked, like, bro, can I put this photo of you up? I can see if we sharing summit stuff or whatever, but, and I wouldn't say I wouldn't let it happen, but I was not notified. That was something that was surprising to me. All right, so to close out these basic points and then to get to the folks so they can talk, these are the points and the breaches, all right? Each person has specific breaches. Some of them dealt with moral code, and we'll go through them as they testify. I'll come back and show the details. And they dealt with breaches in the actual jurist contract, where the jurist contract states specific things, and if you're doing something different, that's a breach. There's one more thing I wanted to get to. Okay. Yeah, so these are all the breaches. I recorded them in summary, and then I dealt with this. I dealt with an offer to say, after we hear this evidence and look at it, this is what we are offering to Ken Way, so this does not become a judgment. This becomes a regular arbitration, a plea deal that does not go on his honor record if he is found guilty. Because if he is found guilty on his honor record, I have to respond differently than what we have here, which is confession of a breach, agreement with the evidence as it's presented, rebuttal to anything that you don't think, and then still agreeing to a plea agreement so myself, the Juror Society, and Ken can decide, how to operate this to the agreement of the claimants. And so that is my end goal, is to do that. So what I want to do now is I want to let Love She go first and tell her story, her position, her breaches, and then we'll let Yasmine and then Karen go, and then I'll close out, and then we'll pass the baton to Ken so he can come back and say his piece. And then I think we should do cross-examinations after Ken states his piece.
Okay.
All right, so...
That was fine.
Okay, got you. All right, so we're going to Love She.
Okay. Greetings, everybody. You can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. So I will, be respectful of the time. And with that said, I'll give an abbreviated version. My initial grievance is pretty detailed. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Initial grievance was pretty detailed. I felt it was necessary to provide as much detail as I did to give the context of why I presented the grievance in the first place. So the first first I'll start by saying there were 3 services. I registered a tribal business. Let me back up. I had a corporation on the state side, and I enlisted Juris Ken because I wanted him to assist me in making that business that was listed with the state here, transferring it over and making it a tribal entity. So the business in question is beneath the canvas, and I wanted to align that business with the benefits that I'm getting over here as the national. Okay, so initially, my three concerns didn't happen all at once, right? I didn't want to file a grievance. We make, there's oversight with any type of system, and people inputting data, there's always some, oversight or something got left off. And I understand that as somebody who builds systems for a living, right? So initially, when I realized that I had an incorrect W-9 form, for example, I didn't freak out about it, but I did communicate once I realized what happened, which was a bit after all of my documents were presented to me. Once I realized that the typo had been made, I communicated and expressed that I wanted, a corrected form. As you can see in my initial grievance, I sent several communications about it, and the corrected form was received on December 22nd. My initial correspondence regarding this particular incident was October 20th. Okay. This is not the first tribal business. This is not the only tribal business that I've registered with ARNA. Okay? And as a result of that, it came to my attention that the process that Ken and I went through was missing some key pieces as far as I knew. I have 5 registered businesses with ARNA, and to get that done, I utilized 3 jurists. All right. So it wasn't until that point that I realized I had a missing tax exemption certificate. The details are there, and it was at that time that I realized that there was a service overcharge. So the communication that I had, the communication that I had was made written and verbal, right? So, of course, the phone calls I don't have here, but I do have the exchanges in the text messages and the emails. My concerns are, 1, the time that it took to respond. 2, questions. Thank you. Questions about
so we right at 5.
how things were handled. Okay, thanks.
So what we got to do, and just helpful to the witnesses, is cut out as much fluff as possible. Tell exactly what was wrong. I know you did submit a detailed thing, but we are recording. These are the 3-4 things that was wrong. This is how he handled it. We can bring further detail. If we even need to extend the hearing, we can do that to bring that evidence in. and present it forward. So as we go with the witness, stick to very detailed things. Present the thing that was wrong as the breach. It could be the taking of money without the service, whatever, and present your evidence. So we're going to have to go to Sister Yasmine if you're on.
She mentioned something in the text that she's at work, but she's on mute, so she's listening. So I don't know if she's even.
I can read off her affidavit, the basics of what she's saying, because I'm familiar with her case. If that's okay with the Drill Society.
Yes, if you can read it, I can give you. Give me like 2 minutes, and I'll be ready.
Okay, so I don't.
You can read it if you'd like to.
Okay.
I was going to say,
she's at work. You know, we gotta respect the fact that she's at work. So,
I was going to say, do we want to go to the next witness first and then come back there? Or?
Okay, we can do that too. Yep, yes sir, that works. You want to go to Karen?
Peace. I'm at work as well, so I might have to interact with people. I did the affidavit, but pretty much just pay for services that I didn't receive. Business acumen, business etiquette, just direction on what was I should expect. I never had to utilize a jurist service, so pretty much just didn't get what I paid for.
And what was that? Well, can you speak in detail about what that was?
I paid for debt removal service and trademarking, like logos. I did get the business registration.
How much did you pay for?
I paid $1,500 cash for both services.
And it was to remove debts off your credit report?
Debt removal service was $1,500 for the logos. And then after the fact, he was requesting more monies, and I wasn't comfortable with that. We talked about this. I asked for a receipt for that. When I did the initial consultation with him, I gave him $1,500 cash. The very next day, I sent him $100 for the business registration. I asked multiple times for a receipt, never received anything. Really, I didn't. I finally did get some paperwork, maybe a month to 2 months after the fact. But after the interactions, I was no longer comfortable. My trust had been violated. I'm like, what is this? I don't have anything solid to really go by to make me feel comfortable to give him any more money.
What was the document you received a month or 2 months later?
I received, hold on, let me pull it up. From him on the 14th, I got a email saying, for credit, this is what I need, my name, birthday. I forwarded all these emails. My name, birthday, social, driver's license, date of birth, best phone number, email address, current address, last home, social security card, driver's license. That was on September 14th of 20. And then on October 22nd of 20, I got a credit agreement, which I was not comfortable signing because this is not what we discussed in the initial consultation. And
what was the credit agreement that you didn't? More money? More money, or what was it?
More money wasn't requested on here. This is pretty much saying that credit restoration services. So it didn't speak to anything about the trademarks of my logos. And then on November 27th of 20, I got a bankruptcy form, intake form. I didn't sign any of this stuff that was sent to me after, like a month after we met initially, and the exchanges with the text. I didn't sign or fill out any of this information because I was no longer comfortable with what I was experiencing.
Was your money returned, or did you request for?
I did request my money to be returned via text, and no, it was not. He told me I would return the money, but you didn't do what you said you were going to do, something to that effect. I screenshot the text and put them in the email to you.
Yeah, I have all those. I have all the text if they want to.
Hi, down the hall, please. Where the computers are.
Okay. As far as the business was registered?
Yes, the business registration was fine.
Okay. So you don't have any trademarks either right now?
No, I do not.
Is there anything else you want to add to it? I mean, preliminarily, because we're going to talk about this a little bit more. I am in more detail with your affidavit and stuff, but
at this point, no.
Okay. You want to see if Yasmine is ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. Go ahead, sis.
So I reached out to Kimway maybe about a year ago or more. Initially, he sent me the intake documents, the link to his website, and information about ARNA. So I went through that, I did studying, I did the test, and initially in the paperwork, because I guess it was outdated, it said that the amount that I was supposed to pay was $360, and then when I contacted him about it, even on the website, it still said $360. And then he said, well, it's $720 now because it changed about 3 months ago. So I said, okay, that's fine. But I just wasn't prepared to pay that amount. I paid $360 initially to get the process started. He said he would grade my test, but it wouldn't be graded until he received the money. So I sent it to get the process started. I never got any information back about my tests. I never got any of my documents. I never got anything processed, no information that I was even in the system at all. So
wait, 1 second. Can you tell us about what time this was? Was this last year?
This is last year, I believe, in like August.
Okay. We have the dates, but I just want you to state it on the record.
Yeah, this is about last August that I started the process. I reached out again about a month later because I hadn't heard anything, asked if there was anything else that he needed from me. He's just like, no, I sent more money to him. The total was about $510. And then I just didn't get any information back at all. Never heard anything, never got any response back, no results from my tests, no nothing. So that's when I reached out to Chief to try to figure out what was going on. And honestly, before I did that, I reached out to Baak to figure out if there was something that I missed, like a step that I missed or anything else that I needed to do beforehand, because I didn't hear back from him at all. And I really didn't want to send any more money considering I had sent a lot of money already and I got nothing from it. So that's the gist of my...
Okay. And were you ever refunded any of the money?
No, I didn't get refunded, and I never heard anything back until maybe like a week ago. I just opened the message yesterday, just stating that I had a balance still. But at that point, you had already processed all of my documents and everything, so it wasn't necessary.
When were your documents processed?
My documents just got processed about a month or two ago.
February?
Yes.
All right. So you started in August, and February is when you got your documents.
Yes.
All right. All right. You got anything else you want to add to it? Oh, one more question. When you first started, were you directed to go to the ARNA website? Because I never even asked you this. I don't think I asked you this, but were you directed to go to the ARNA website to register your information by Ken?
No, I was sent like a web form, but it wasn't working for me, so I just went to the website on my own to do it, to find what information I could, and did it that way.
Okay. And we have the dates of when that was done, because, I know when that was done. Everybody who registers on the site, we get an automatic new entry form that comes to my email that goes to the database. So I can see when people, put their registration in. You want to add anything else?
Last thing to just mention, there's a second invite that everyone should have received because the call's about to end in 9 minutes, so just FYI.
So we have to go back to our email and then click again?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Great. All right. All right. So I guess all three went. Y'all want me to close out this 5 minutes or whatever with, the prosecution stuff and then let Ken come when we come back? Summary? Okay. All right. So I'll go in reverse so we can deal with the problems that I see personally as breaches, as evidentiary breaches. Yasmine came in and she started communication with the jurors. The jurors did right, gave her an intake, basically giving her a summary. That's what you're supposed to do. The jurors is also supposed to get her to register with headquarters because we have to have the data. If the jurors doesn't get her to do it and direct her to do it, the jurors can do it themselves. They can go on the website, put in the information that she has. We have it so that if there's any correspondence or anything needs to be done, we can do it. So that initial communication started in August of 2021. She did not pay $720, but money was taken from her and services weren't done. So here's the very simplistic thing. If a person does not have all the money and you're not going to start services, tell the person, one, save your money, come start studying, come back to see me when you got all the money. We can do business. Or I'm gonna put you on a payment plan. And the payment plan is this is a contract. I will do this based on the payment plan. According to what we have, that wasn't a payment plan. That wasn't save your money. That was fill out an intake, I'll take your money. A total of $510. $360 first, $150 on the next payment. For a mother, single, with 2 children, coming into a new thing that she's excited about, that she learning about her indigenous heritage. If she's dealing with a person who will go August, September, October, November, December, 6 months without guiding her properly according to how we go, that is a breach. It is a breach of what we listed. And so I don't think that he can have rebuttals, and some of them might be, have some merit. But the overall merit, I don't see it. So let's go to Karen. Karen came to get debt relief services. I have the emails initially that she sent me in 2021 of March, which, in the cross-examination, we could bring that up. So she started complaining a year ago about this situation. Now, I'm in somewhat of a breach because I was supposed to help arbitrate this situation, but I didn't. And I can't use overexhaustion of any particular thing of work as an excuse. This was supposed to have been handled before. So, in some senses, person to person, to me and her, I have to offer her an apology because she had to wait this long just for some type of remedy. That's a whole year of someone's resources. Debt relief, okay, when you do debt relief, you're going to clear somebody's credit report. There are steps and stages. If you're going to take money from somebody, it shouldn't take a month to gather additional information. That information should be gathered up front. So you're starting to see a pattern here. Trademarks. I have the text messages of everything she's saying, and I will present them in the cross-examination to show, yes, he agreed to pay, to accept payment. Yes, he was doing trademarks. They're not done. They're not done. The debt relief is not done. The business got done. If there are additional reasons, he will have to show that. But to this day, there's $1,500 that a sister gave, and there was no refund. There's nothing. If there was confusion, you can always come to headquarters. Look, yeah, boom, 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 boom. This is how you got to handle this. If you don't know how to do trademarks or whatever, this is how you're going to handle this. Now, I haven't even trained jurists in doing trademarks at all as a service. Never. So this is a service that he decided to do on his own. Okay. Breach. And incorrectly, to the detriment of a person. So what is happening here is jurists are going to have issues with clients, right? You're going to have issues with clients. That's going to happen. But these are private interactions with you and the person in contract on behalf of Arna. Lastly, Love She. Very simple issues. If Kila was doing her nationality and she needed IDs, gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. Okay. So y'all want me to stop now?
Keep going. You have time. Keep going. You have time.
Okay. All right, I'm closing out now because You got time. If Keela did her nationality and breached her, that's another subject. Then she came to Kenway and said, "Look, I need you to do my IDs." And Kenway says, "Oh, we out of supplies. Hit me up and say, look, Ali, I can't do Love She's IDs because I need some supplies." Boom. I'll show you how to go online because I order them, and the supplies weren't out on my end on where I tell them to order from. And two, if they were, I'll give you some, or we get somebody else to do the ID. Get another jurist to do it, get headquarters to do it, so the person doesn't have to wait all this time. Or if you're unfamiliar with a procedure about a business, do we or do we not do taxes exempt LLCs? What is this tax exempt certificate? That's in our file that we use. I'm not sure. Let me hit Chief up. Let me hit so-and-so up. And if you pass them to another jurist and you think it's against protocol or you don't know, the other jurists, everybody's supposed to come together as a team to help the person get what they need. But if she has to end up coming to me months later because she's getting 3 different things from 3 different jurists, got you. All right. So all I'm saying is the simplicity of this is each one of these have breaches. When we come back to the cross-examination, I have details on each one, all the communications to deal with it, and I will present that. So I'll let the Juror Society close out.
Okay, so we're going to end this meeting now, and everybody just make sure that they check their email for the new link.
Okay.
All right, peace.
All right, peace.
Peace.
And I wouldn't say I wouldn't let it happen, but I was not notified. That was something.
Nothing to do with this case.
Well, in regards of Minister Kojo's status is unbiased and he can't rule on this, you should be the same because there's biasness here with you being a part of this.
No, sir.
That's the whole point of what I was saying originally.
Oh, I'm not ruling, sir.
Okay.
And I have a right. I have a right. Just because I make a statement or my opinion doesn't mean it's going to negate the case. The case is going to be based on facts, and I'm not going to make the final decision and the judgment that's come from the executive office, who is Chief Ali at this time. He didn't appoint no other jurors. And I understand why Cujo is staying because of conflict of interest. I have no conflict of interest, and I stated that.
And according to the complaint,
we're not here. We're going to let the plaintiff speak. They have 5 minutes for each cause of action. Don't make this personal. Don't make this about me. It's not about me.
Brother, you're charged in one of the complaints as well. You're included in this.
Okay. So I'm not aware of that. I'm not aware of that.
I know. This was a lot of
This is not my case.
Hold on. Okay. Hold on. Okay, the two of you. Hold on. The two of you. Calm down. Hold on. Order. Listen. We're just laying out rules and procedures right now. So let's get through this, and then we'll get to the points that can you have, or maybe Archon, whatever the case is. But let's just lay out the rules, and then let's go forward from there. Okay? Let's calm down. All right.
Great. So I'm gonna get started. One, I don't want to make Ken feel like the point he's raising is not valid or invalid or whatever. But before it's clear to everybody on here, and you can agree or disagree, Ken, I think you're raising an issue about Brother Arkan being able to be a jurist on the case because you're alleging that he is a part of the complaint. Is that correct?
Or the counter, I guess technically from my side, not
okay.
from the...
So now, I just want to make it clear. We never charged Arkan with anything in our prosecution. If you have testimony about something in respect to Arkan, in respect to these 3 people specifically, in regards to what actions are specifically laid out, it's almost, how can I put it? It doesn't have a place yet unless the Juror Society determines at a later point that it does have a place. So we still have to go and deal with what's on the actual prosecution.
Yes, sir.
Just, because Arcan is not on the prosecution.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He's not on it. None of these people, in respect to these matters, brought any issues to me on these particular matters about Arcan. If Arcan has something that he got to arbitrate with other people about, that's a whole separate issue. But if you raise the issue later, you have the right to raise it. But I did not put Arcan on any documents or anything in regards to this case, and it's there for everybody to read and review. And if I make error right now, please somebody correct me. Because I didn't put him in any of those claims.
Yes, sir. That's accurate. When I received the plea, and it had the list of breaches and like I think it's mainly from Arna's side with the particulars, like the Code 26 or the breaches of Code 26, Code 31. I guess I didn't know if that was kind of like something that could also be looked at as an additional party with Love She, Yasmine, Ali, and Karen to address that. Then had me, because I just got a hold of that, a wind of that like a few hours ago. So
a hold of what? Be specific. A hold of what?
The plea deal with the particulars of the breaches, because all I had was the complaint from Love She and her list that I read through and saw the details of and things of that nature. So I kind of had an idea of how to like prep with that. But when I saw the details of breaches from the plea deal, I looked through it, analyzed it, and saw, okay, there's some correlation with some other stuff that occurred that also would probably have to be addressed with the detail of breaches in regards of Code 31, Code 26. Each client experience gets to a point. That's too much here. Code 12, I believe. I'm not reading too fast.
Are you asking for additional time even after this hearing so that you can address other matters? Because you did receive this recently, like you just got it. So are you saying you're unprepared on those particular things, and you would need more time to add in to your defense?
No, sir. I was just stating. With the additional breaches and with those, that's what had me ask the question that I asked in regards of Archon and like who's going to be the ruling party and things of that nature. But I may have been getting ahead of myself, kind of like you stated. So yeah, I'm down for proceeding the exact same way that was stated. So I'm for it.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to jump in right to my presentation so y'all can get a summary, and then I'm going to go through with each witness according to the time. I'm going to keep my time under 5 minutes, too, so that everything stays, ordered and arranged. And then I'm going to sequester information and testimonies from Sister Kimberly, as she's here, Love She, Sister Yasmine, and Sister Karen. All right, so let me get started. And forgive me because I haven't used this, but, I'm going to do the share and
Peace, man. Can I make a point about the time?
Yes, sir.
I'm saying about 5 minutes for each cause of action. I was just saying, let's do 5 minutes total for whatever they're going to present for each plaintiff.
Yep, absolutely. I agree.
If my camera goes off, I'm just running to go grab my charger real quick because Google Hangouts leads my battery real quick. It's just, I'm still on. I still hear everything if I'm not on the screen.
Okay.
Yeah,
Do you have a charger issue?
No, just low on charge. I'm just grabbing the charger for it to it's about to die. So I'm good. Got extension cord here too.
Okay. All right. So goes through. Everybody can see it. Can everybody see what I'm showing? Yes.
Yes, sir.
All right, great. All right, so this is the prosecution as its current state that I have it. It is Arna versus Kenway, and the affiants in this are Love She, Yasmine, Ali, and Karen Baker. Summary of the case. This case comes as a result of nationals listed above making complaints about the service of jurist Kenway She and the law firm New Ways Legal. Their claims are that his service was not in accord with Arna laws, protocols, the contract being the contract for jurists and not official service. This raised concerns. The services were completed by Arna Aboriginal law firm for the two nationals listed above who had nationality type issues. The third, I have not completed anything for Sister Karen. I just have the data and information. This complaint looks to resolve the issues, highlight any breach of protocols, resolve the matter between the parties, and allow for any punishments required for breach of the service as a jurist. So with love, and then she can correct me if anything I say wrong as a witness. You can correct me. It dealt with failure to provide an ID and failure to provide a tax exemption document for LLC. With Yasmine Ali, failure to complete IDs, failure to provide documents. With Karen Baber, it was a debt relief issue, trademarks, and business registration where